answering the question, what happens when you die? It's very complicated. I don't claim to know this answer outright, but based on the years of learning and my spiritual development, I'm going to give this a crack. And for the people watching this, I want you to be assured that it is a beautiful experience, and no human being truly dies. It's just like getting on a bus and going to a new destination. A new journey awaits. So, based on what I've learned, when the human body does breathe its last breath, the soul departs from the body. The body is like a vehicle, your soul is the driver. Your soul departs from the body the moment the life comes to an end, and sometimes even before as well, especially if the the death experience is tragic or traumatic. The soul can sometimes choose to depart the body at an earlier stage. Usually, when the soul departs the body, or most of the time, I'd say all of the time, it's not alone. Usually, loved ones, spirit guides from the other side will come to greet the soul, like answering the door to someone. They come to they come to meet you, and they take you to the next stage of your journey. And I believe that is a different dimension. That's all. Just a different location, different dimension, the spiritual plane as I know it. Once you're reunited with your loved ones and you have a little bit of celebration on the other side, you then will engage in what is called a life review, where you will sit down and you will review aspects of your life on Earth. That will be you will get to see the good things, the not so good things, the times when you maybe was a little bit cheeky and you did things that you probably shouldn't have done, but you learn from it. And what you do is you review your life, you look at what went well, what didn't do, what wasn't as good, and you then say to yourself, did I achieve what I wanted to achieve when I come to Earth? Because what a lot of us don't realise is we do draw up soul contracts before we incarnate on Earth. And at that point, it won't just be one conclusion, but you will have a feeling of whether or not you've achieved what you wanted to achieve. And then at that point, you have a lot of choices. You may decide to incarnate again multiple times at once. Well, I won't go into that. Or you may choose to reside on the spiritual plane for a bit with your loved ones and do work there. What I can assure people is that it's a bloody good place to be. It's a peaceful one. There's no suffering, not like what you experience on the earth plane. The reason why we suffer here is to learn. You will find that your greatest lessons will come at times of suffering. And the reason why we incarnate is to learn those lessons. It accelerates our learning because there's no suffering on the other side. It is much harder to attain those important lessons. Also, I forgot to mention that the soul will also reunite with what is called the higher self once it's undergone the life review, etc. And the higher self is like the mothership. It is your higher consciousness, your the wise one. And your higher self, from what I understand, is like a amalgamation of all of your lifetimes, all of your collective wisdom. It's the brain box. And your higher self is probably what is guiding you during your earth incarnation, along with loved ones, spirit guides. But your higher self is probably what drives your intuition when you get that gut feeling to do something. So yeah, that's my that's my attempt at explaining what happens when you die. And I do have to say it's I think it's, as with a lot of things, a very beautiful experience. And for the people that are bothered and concerned about not being a good experience, then I would say don't focus on your time on Earth and the lessons that you're here to learn. And trust me on this one, it's a beautiful experience.